Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, December 21st, coming to you live from Seoul. I'm Kim Mok-yeon. Before we get started, these are the stories we're following at the top of the hour. The distribution of Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine has kicked off in the U.S., and Americans are expected to begin getting inoculated as early as Monday. Meanwhile, U.S. Congress agreed on a $900 billion coronavirus relief package on Sunday. The UK government has imposed a Tier 4 lockdown in London as a new strain of COVID-19 has been reported. Italy has also identified the same strain of the virus. And world #1 South Korean professional golfer Ko Jin-young has picked up the winner's check at the 2020 LPGA Tour, bringing home $1.1 million. We begin with the COVID-19 situation here in South Korea. The country reported 926 new cases Monday, falling slightly after recording an all-time high of 1,097 cases on Sunday. Of Monday's new cases, 892 were locally transmitted and 34 were from overseas. There have been 24 more deaths, bringing the death toll to 698. Authorities have warned that should the situation continue, an increase to the highest level of social distancing, level 3, would be inevitable. And with daily COVID-19 cases lingering along the 1,000 mark for almost a week in South Korea, concerns have been mounting as the nation is experiencing a severe shortage of hospital beds for those sick with the virus. Our Chang Tae-hyun has the story.
A man in his 60s in Seoul passed away less than a day after testing positive with the novel coronavirus. According to a district official, the patient died on Saturday evening while waiting to be hospitalized. This is not the first time a person has died due to the lack of hospital beds. About a week ago, a patient confirmed with the virus was found dead after 4 days of waiting. There are 137 patients in Seoul who have been waiting for over a day to be hospitalized, and 368 in the capital region. As of Saturday, nationwide, there are only 38 beds available for critically ill patients, but in provinces like Seoul and Daejeon, there are none left.
We have treatment centers for mild cases, but we are still working to secure beds for the severely ill.
In the meantime, the government released a statement about securing beds for severe cases at national and major general hospitals. The government will postpone medical institution evaluations and offer incentives to those that participate.
Considering the time needed for all patients, 318 beds will be secured by December 26th.
He added that advanced care will be given to those waiting to be hospitalized, such as medical staff from a community health center checking on their physical condition at least once a day. Chang Tae-hyun, Arirang News.
A new strain of the COVID-19 virus has prompted the UK government to impose a Tier 4 lockdown in London and southeastern England. To prevent the spread of the new strain, the Eurotunnel between England and France is also closing completely to all travelers and freight for at least 48 hours. Lee Seung-jae has more.
Following the discovery of a new variant of the COVID-19 virus, European countries are halting flights from the UK. It prompted the UK government to impose a Tier 4 lockdown in London and southeastern England amid fears the new strain is spreading fast. The UK's health secretary issued a dire warning.
The new variant is out of control and we need to bring it under control, and this news about the new variant has been an incredibly difficult end to, frankly, an awful year, and it's important for everybody to essentially act like they might have the virus.
The Netherlands banned all passenger flights from the UK from Sunday morning until the new year in order to minimize the risk of the new strain spreading further. However, the Dutch government said the new variant has already been detected in the country. Belgian Prime Minister Alexander De Croo says Belgium will ban travelers from the UK for 24 hours on Monday as a precautionary measure, although the ban could be extended if needed. Italy has suspended flights to and from the UK but the new strain has also been identified there as well. The Czech Republic imposed a mandatory 10-day quarantine on anyone arriving from the UK starting Sunday. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said over the weekend that the new strain may be up to 70% more transmissible than the earlier strain. The nation's chief medical officer said the new variant is responsible for 60% of infections in London. According to the WHO on Sunday, it's currently in close contact with UK officials over the emergence of the new variant. The UN's health agency says the new strain spreads more rapidly, but it's not believed to be more deadly. Currently, there's no evidence to suggest the new variant reacts differently to vaccines. 이승재, Arirang News.
Over in the United States, the distribution of Moderna's COVID-19 vaccines has kicked off, and Americans are expected to get inoculated as early as Monday, local time. Our Kim Hyo-sun has the story.
The U.S. CDC has accepted its committee's recommendation to vaccinate Americans with Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine. Its Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices earlier recommended that the vaccines can be given to people over the age of 18. Such a process is necessary for the country to inoculate its people following the emergency use approval by the FDA. The U.S. was the first country to greenlight the use of Moderna's vaccine, which does not need to be stored at ultra-cold temperatures like the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. This means the U.S. has now approved 2 COVID-19 vaccines, and it's expected to speed up vaccinations for its people, which is desperately needed to bring the pandemic under control. Distribution to over 3,700 locations began on Sunday. A healthcare supply chain management company, McKesson, says its initial deliveries should arrive by Monday, adding that inoculations may begin that morning. The U.S. government plans to deliver 5.9 million Moderna shots and 2 million Pfizer shots this week. Kim Hyo-sun, Arirang News.
A second round of COVID-19 financial relief is set to be rolled out for Americans. Following intensive negotiations, U.S. Congress reached a last-minute agreement on a $900 billion package. Lee Kyung-eun has the latest.
U.S. Congress has reached an agreement on a $900 billion package to help revive its COVID-hit economy. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell announced the news on Twitter, saying we'll pass another rescue package as soon as possible. More help is on the way. This comes after hours of a late-night marathon negotiation on Saturday, which cleared one of the key hurdles, the issue of the central bank's emergency lending authority. Republican Pat Toomey pushed for a provision to close down the Fed's pandemic emergency lending facilities, calling it an act of intervention. But the Pennsylvania Republican and Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer agreed in principle, providing that Fed maintains authority but must require congressional approval before lending.
Now, this compromise should not have taken as long as it did, but I'm very glad that our Republican colleagues relented and accepted our offer. The Toomey legislation was the last significant stumbling block to a bipartisan agreement moving forward.
The package will give $600 direct payments to individuals and boost unemployment payments by $300 per week. And $330 billion will be set aside for small business loans, more than $80 billion provided for schools, and billions for vaccine distribution. The package will be the second biggest stimulus in U.S. history, following a $2.3 trillion relief bill passed in March. However, there are still a series of steps needed to be taken, from locking down the details of the package to pushing for a quick vote, all before the deadline of the government shutdown on Sunday. Lee Kyung-eun, Arirang News.
South Korean golfer Ko Jin-young cemented her status as the world #1 player by taking home the largest winner's check of the 2020 LPGA Tour. Ko finished on a very strong note this year despite missing most of the season due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Our Choi Min-jung reports.
The world #1 South Korean professional golfer Ko Jin-young has picked up the winner's check at the 2020 LPGA Tour. Playing at the CME Group Tour Championship in Naples, Florida on Sunday, the top-ranked player won the season-ending tournament, bringing home $1.1 million. The 25-year-old took the lead in the final round by shooting a 6 under 66, finishing at 18 under par. Ko won the championship by 5 strokes over South Korea's Kim Se-young and Australia's Hannah Green. Ko, who was 1 shot behind Kim at the beginning of the day, birdied her way to victory, hitting 3 straight birdies from the 12th to 14th hole, again at the 16th, and took the title with 3 shots on the par 4 18th hole. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the South Korean only played 4 LPGA events out of a total of 18 in 2020. Yet she still managed to earn more than $1.6 million with help from the prize money claimed last week at the U.S. Women's Open for finishing second. With Sunday's victory, Ko also became the 71st player in the history of LPGA to pass the $5 million mark in career earnings. Meanwhile, Kim Se-young, who finished second, won Player of the Year. Choi Min-jung, Arirang News.
When transferring money to another bank account, it's easy to accidentally type the wrong account number and send the money to the wrong person by mistake. Getting that money back is a costly, time-consuming process, but beginning next July, the Korea Deposit Insurance Corporation will make this job easier. Park Se-young has more.
This company transferred $18,000 to the wrong account by mistyping the account number. It couldn't get that money back. With the expansion of mobile banking services and online businesses, more money is getting lost through such mistakes. According to data by the Financial Services Commission, there were 158,000 wrong remittance cases in 2019, worth around $290 million in total. Of that, $140 million from some 82,000 cases has not been returned. Starting next July, a support system will help people get their money back. At the request of a sender, the Korea Deposit Insurance Corporation asked the receiver to return the wrongly transferred money. And if necessary, it will collect the money through a court payment order. Once the money is collected, the corporation deducts related charges and returns the remaining amount to the sender. It takes about 6 months for people filing their own lawsuits to get their incorrectly sent money back. But with the help of the KDIC, the process is expected to take less than 2 months.
The law was passed on December 9 this year, and detailed procedures and regulations will be prepared through consultation. Above all, it's important to prevent mistakes during transactions.
The KDIC will receive applications for help starting next July. Until then, people are advised to take extra care during transactions. Park Se-young, Arirang News.
The Seoul Children's Hospital's mascot elephant, Cory, is debuting as a YouTuber to promote the hospital's music therapy program called Rainbow Musician. This program is composed of musically talented children and teenagers with developmental disabilities. Ever since 2009, its members performed to communicate with others, and now they want to perform to console people going through the pandemic. The channel is not only about performance. Parents of those with developmental disabilities will turn radio DJ and introduce others' life stories. The hospital's medical staff will also appear on the program to deliver efficient information on how to take care of the children.
Good morning. It's the winter solstice today, or 동지, the shortest day of the year, and we'll have less than 10 hours with sunlight today. Well, it was a cold 동지 morning to start the day with cold wave alerts in place, but the cold snap will ease this afternoon with the mild winter trend continuing for the next couple of days. Dry air alerts remain in place for the East Coast and the capital region. Well, dry alerts are in place for more than 25 days for many East Coast regions. That's including Busan. So please stay hydrated and be careful if you have to handle fires. So daily highs will be 1 to 3 degrees higher this afternoon. And as warmer air surges in, dust levels could rise as well. The sky will clear by the afternoon. Thursday, slight mix of rain and snow will bring chillier air on Christmas Day and through the holiday weekend. Then a wintry mix on Sunday will bring even colder air to the country next week. That's Korea for you, and here's a look at the weather conditions around the world.
That's a wrap for us at the hour on Arirang News. We'll be back with more of the day's headlines at noon Korea time, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching and goodbye.